the news tonight, Governor Sheriff Obrewori commends Christians for ensuring peace and unity across the state. Youths in the state urged to promote development and peaceful coexistence in their areas. Federal government to develop key components of cotton value chain, and abroad, Niger cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Good evening. Thank you for joining us on Delta Television News. My name is Pauline Okolie. Governor Sheriff Obrewori has attributed the peace and development in all parts of the state to prayers by Christians and his desire to fulfill his promise to the people. Governor Obrewori stated this when a delegation from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria PFN Delta State branch led by its chairman, Bishop Kingsley Enahireri, visited him in Government House, Asaba. Ejime Udweme reports.
Governor Obrewori said securing lives and properties was government's core duty and thanked veterans for their support. He called for more prayers to enable the administration resolve some of the state's challenges. The governor commended the PFN for his support and gave an assurance that he would be governor for all Deltans.
Today, that promise I made that I'll be governor for all Deltans, I've kept to that promise in terms of projects across the three central districts. We are delivering projects across. We should just testify.
On the ongoing nationwide protest, he thanked the PFN and other religious and cultural leaders for their contributions in making the state peaceful despite the protest. He flagged a section of the opposition for taking credit for the peaceful disposition of protesters in the state, adding that it was a collective effort of all stakeholders, especially prayers of believers.
Continue to pray for us. We'll continue to do our best. We as a government, pray for us to serve the people. And we are here to serve the people. We are not here basically for our selfish interests. We are giving service to the people. I thank all of you for the cooperation, for the understanding, for the show of love, for the support.
On the passing of the executive director, projects of the SOPADEC, Chief Talib Tebitem, Governor Obrewori described the death as unfortunate, noting that the state government worked to restore him to good health. Bishop Enahireri pledged support to Governor Obrewori and thanked him for adopting wisdom to manage the state's affairs, particularly the ongoing nationwide protest. He lauded the state government for its contributions towards the completion of the PFN Secretariat at Agbaro in Ogoli North local government area and invited the governor to the PFN annual prayer and Thanksgiving Day on August 22.
We want to appreciate you for the work that you are doing in this state. In our place, it says in the local language that in the other words, somebody's working and you don't go and say, thank you, it is wrong. So we came here, number one, to appreciate you for what is going on in the state. The works, the projects, the ongoing one, the ones that have been commissioned, every time for your 1 year, we are here to say thank you.
Bishop Enahireri condoled with the state governor on the passing of Chief Tebite. The visit featured prayers for the release of Honorable Joan Onyemechi by her adopters. Ejime Udweme reporting.
Youths in the state have been advised to shun anything that could promote crisis in order to attract development to their areas. The Special Advisor to the State Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, gave the advice in Asaba during a peace meeting between the state government and STEM stakeholders of Ewulu Kingdom, Onitsha South local government area. Henry Unogwa reports.
Chief Uzo said the meeting was convened following a petition by the people of Ewulu Kingdom against their neighbor, Omo Makwatas in Ishagu community, over allegation of land grab. He noted that the communities had lived in peace for decades and advised that land should not cause crisis between the communities. Chief Uzo lauded Ewulu community, especially traditional ruler Onyenwuwa, for following the path of peace, adding that Governor Sheriff Oborevwori would want communities to live in peace with their neighbors.
The issue of threat to security at a road is being blocked. And people cannot have access through one side of the road. So I've told them to go quickly and make that complaint to the Commissioner of Police. So that that's a security threat. That does not stop us from what we're doing. So that after that, we will try to reach out to the people and do more.
Chief Uzo appealed to youths in the communities to listen to the state government and maintain peace to attract investors to the communities.
These are our youths. When you are talking to them, they feel that they know more. Some of them does not know that crisis does not lead anyone anywhere. In most cases, even you who is agitating for the problem to come, we go.
The special advisor said the state peace-building team would invite the other party for hearing before taking a decision on the matter. Henry Onogwa reporting.
The Director General of the National Productivity Center, Mr. Bafa Danangudi, has assured Nigerians that the center has designed a program that will employ 1 million Nigerians. Mr. Danangudi, who stated this in Abuja, said the center had started working on a new plan and would communicate with the State Minister of Labor and Employment. Mr. Danangudi said the program would create jobs and generate a whopping 3 billion naira revenue monthly for the government. He added that the program, tagged the National Productivity Movement, would add value to the economy and provide opportunities for the citizens. AG Care, a leading healthcare operations management company, is set to reopen its office in Asaba with an assurance to apply its knowledge and extensive experience in successfully managing healthcare services for optimal patient well-being. The founder of the AG Care, Mr. Chukwuka Monye, disclosed this at a press conference to officially open the place. The report.
Speaking at a news conference to officially announce the reopening of the state-of-the-art facilities of its center in Asaba, the founder of AG Care, Mr. Chukwuka Monye, said they are committed to delivering comprehensive and specialized care locally and internationally. Mr. Monye noted that the Asaba Center was temporarily closed to upgrade it with a state-of-the-art facilities so as to provide top-notch healthcare service.
But our vision in AG Care is that these things should not be the preserve of only a few. Why should quality care be only for a few people? Why shouldn't you be able to come for quality care? That's one of the reasons why we embarked on, rolling out centers. So this is not the only center that AG Care operates.
The founder was flanked by the CIUCI partner, Mr. Adewale Ayodeji, Dr. Ebonwonyi Osagie, the principal ICU AG Care, and Dr. Oyilola Babatunde, the chief executive officer AG Care Asaba, revealed that the mission of the health company was to provide exceptional healthcare services whose partnership is rooted in a shared vision of making quality healthcare accessible to all through collaborative efforts. Mr. Monye said the commitment to operating the hospital is driven by his passion for improving healthcare standards and ensuring every individual receives the healthcare they deserve.
One of the things that led us to even embark on this in the first place is people are dying every day in Nigeria. I'm sure that almost everybody here has one unfortunate experience or the other with the healthcare system. If it's not you directly, it might be a relative. That's what we want to try and reduce, all these unfortunate incidences.
Other AG Care management underlines the company's uniqueness and competitive advantage over competitors in the health sector, adding that with a dedication to providing everyone with access to healthcare, AgeCare is strategically extending its network to ensure a balanced reach.
What we are building is, we have organizational linkages. If there is something we cannot do and we are linking with hospitals that it can be done, we have done it. So the issue is, no talk of access. It is not just for you to come here and say, you have cancer, you don't want to go. No, we are not going to do that. You have a malignancy, we say, okay, we can link you up. If we are not doing it here, we link you up with the sister institution where it can be done. We link you up with the doctor, and we'll make sure we will follow up the path.
Within our group, we are big on ensuring that our patients are happy, being taken care of. Anytime they think of the facility they want to go to, they think of AgeCare.
This facility will run on 3 critical pillars. Number 1 is clinical governance. Number 2 is quality patient experience. And then the third one is community relationship. So whilst we're going to, whilst we're catering to those who are able to come in, we're also not forgetting that there are people who may not be able to come in to us.
The reopening of the AgeCare in Nasaba marks a milestone in the healthcare landscape, bringing hope and improved health to countless individuals. The press conference concluded with a tour of the hospital facility, including the pediatric ward, SPEC's office, NICU, theater unit, X-ray room, female private ward, male private ward, consulting room, emergency unit, among others, showcasing the advanced medical equipment and modern amenities designed to provide patients with a comfortable and healing environment. Henry Usiayu reporting.
Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Mr. Wole Edu, has said that Nigeria currently spends $600 million on fuel importation monthly. Mr. Edu stated this when he appeared on a television program. He said the high import bill was due to neighboring countries up to Central Africa benefiting from the country's fuel imports. Mr. Edu explained that the situation was the reason President Bola Tinubu removed fuel subsidy, as the country does not know the exact amount of fuel consumed internally. He added that the nation must take a decisive step to tackle the problem, as it has hindered the country's economic growth. The finance minister clarified that the 570 billion naira fund released to state governments was implemented last year. The House of Representatives has said it dissolved the joint committee investigating infractions in the oil and gas sector to ensure efficacy, independence, and effectiveness of the investigation. In a statement in Abuja, the spokesman of the House, Honorable Akintunde Rotimi, said the clarification became necessary because of insinuation in the media about the leadership of the House leadership. He dismissed allegations of a supposed rift between the Speaker and the Deputy Speaker, as well as any allegations of any inducement for the appointment of a committee chairman. Honorable Rotimi said that the leadership of the House deserved the right to disband or dissolve an ad hoc committee whenever necessary, adding that the action taken by the House to dissolve the ad hoc committee on oil and gas investigation did not contravene any rule of the House or any law of the land, and enjoined the public to disregard the speculations making the rounds in some sections of the media. Each member of the House of Representatives receives a monthly salary of 600,000 naira as against the 900,000 naira being speculated. The spokesperson of the House, Honorable Akin Rotimi, made the clarification in a statement issued in Abuja. He reaffirmed the commitment of the House to the 50% deduction in their salary to reduce hardship among Nigerians. Honorable Rotimi said that the member who displayed his salary on a TV program, was an exceptional case, noting that he assumed office through a court decision many months after the onboarding process was concluded. He said that the House remained committed to the resolution passed on July 18, which mandated a 50% reduction in the salaries of members for 6 months. The lawmaker said that the delay in the implementation was due to necessary administrative procedures and coordination with financial institutions, adding that instructions for adjusting salaries had since been issued and would be enforced to ensure its pledge was fully implemented. The federal government has commenced moves to resuscitate the Nigerian cotton industry in collaboration with the International Cotton Advisory Committee, ICAC. The target is to create over 1.4 million jobs annually in the cotton and textile sector, while the focus is to develop key components of the cotton value chain comprising farming, weaving, ginning, and linking of cotton, all in line with the industrialization drive of the President Bola Tinubu administration. A statement issued by the spokesman to the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, Mr. Stanley Nkwocha, said this was the outcome of a meeting held on Tuesday between Vice President Kashim Shettima and a delegation from the ICAC, led by its Executive Director, Mr. Eric Trachtenberg, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. Speaking after remarks from the ICAC delegation and other participants at the meeting, Senator Shettima urged stakeholders to come up with a roadmap for the revitalization of the cotton and textile sector in Nigeria. The Vice President gave an assurance that the federal government would make conscious efforts to ensure Nigeria harnesses opportunities in the cotton value chain, including ensuring that Nigeria regains its ICAC membership. President Bola Tinubu has appointed former Katsina State Governor Alhaji Aminu Masari as the new chairman of the board of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. President Tinubu, who made the announcement in a statement issued by his special advisor on media and publicity, Mr. Anjuri Ngelale, said the president also appointed 6 others as members of the board. While charging the board on optimum performance, President Tinubu emphasized the critical role of TET Fund in supporting and enhancing the productivity and quality of higher education in Nigeria. The Minister of Education, Professor Tahir Maman, has expressed displeasure over the merging of technical and science colleges, saying it eroded the gains for establishing technical colleges across the country. Professor Maman stated this in Abuja during a one-day stakeholders meeting on the challenges and issues affecting technical colleges in the country. He said that students in technical colleges must go purely for technically specialized skills and trainings. Professor Maman said, with effect from this academic session, government had resolved to take special focus on the technical colleges. He expressed worry over the low enrollment of students into the technical colleges. The minister said establishing technical colleges was for particular qualifications, noting that skills acquired would help transform the country. He, however, pledged to explore the institutions in such a way that the technical teachers would be sent for upscaling to be abreast with what was obtainable. The federal government has revealed why President Bola Tinubu never liked the idea of a nationwide protest. Speaking to members of the diplomatic community in Abuja, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mr. Mohammed Idris, pointed out that President Bola Tinubu administration utilizes all available channels to communicate various opportunities and initiatives of government to the public. Mr. Idris pointed out that it was for this reason the federal government responded to the way it did when the organizers issued a protest notice. He said government strongly believed that it was not the time for protests. Instead, focus should be on allowing the various initiatives and interventions of the government to manifest fully. Mr. Idris said government engaged fully and freely with traditional rulers, religious leaders, youths, groups, civil society organizations to appeal to the protesters to shelve the planned protest and embrace dialogue. He reiterated that the federal government has launched an investigation into the violence that erupted during the protest to identify and bring to justice all those responsible. The Cross River Commissioner for Finance, Mr. Mike Odere, has said the state requires 100 billion naira to fix government assets that were destroyed during the NSAS protest in 2020. Mr. Odere disclosed this in an interview with journalists in Calabar, Cross River State. He said that the level of destruction witnessed during the NSAS protest made the state government to stand firmly against violent protests. Mr. Odere commended Cross River people for supporting the government's position. He said the ongoing nationwide protests had severely affected the economy, stating that several public and private businesses had been shut down during the period. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Yusuf Tuga, has briefed diplomatic corps on the ongoing protests in the country and measures the federal government is taking to address the issues raised by the protesters. Mr. Tugas told the diplomats about government's fears of the protests being hijacked by hoodlums. He said the president had earlier reached out to all stakeholders across the 3 tiers of government with efforts towards ensuring that the country spared the untold violence that had greeted the protests so far. The Director General of the National Orientation Agency, NOA, Mr. Lanre Issa Onilu, has cautioned against the return of the petrol subsidy regime, asserting that it will increase poverty in Nigeria. Mr. Issa Onilu spoke in a television program amid the ongoing End Bad Governance nationwide protests, where citizens were demanding the reinstatement of the petrol subsidy, among others. He said the demand for the return of the subsidy was more emotional than economic. Mr. Issa Onilu urged Nigerians to adopt survival strategies to cope with the economic challenges following the subsidy removal by President Bola Tinubu. He acknowledged the deep-seated mistrust between government and the citizens due to a history of unfulfilled promises and advised that promises made to the people should be fulfilled. Niger had cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine, a move which signals a burgeoning rift between some West African states and Kyiv. Niger's military government said it made the move in solidarity with neighboring Mali, who severed their own relations with Ukraine 2 days ago. Both countries cited comments by Ukrainian military officials who suggested Kyiv played a role in the killing of dozens of Malian soldiers last month. Ukraine had been trying to win allies in Africa throughout its war with Russia, likely in an attempt to counter Moscow's growing influence on the continent. At the end of July, scores of Malian soldiers, along with mercenaries from Russia's Wagner Group, were killed in clashes with separatist rebels and Al-Qaeda-linked militants. Still on world news, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has accused Ukraine of launching another major provocation after defense officials said Ukrainian troops crossed into Russia's Kursk region. Moscow said troops supported by 11 tanks and more than 20 armored combat vehicles crossed the border near the town of Suza, 6 miles from front line. Russia's Chief of General Staff, Mr. Valery Gerasimov, told President Putin that the advance into Kursk region had been stopped, with Russian forces continuing to destroy the adversary in areas directly adjacent to the Russian-Ukrainian border. Mr. Gerasimov said that up to 1,000 Ukrainian troops had entered the region with the aim of taking over the area around the town of Suza and that Russian forces had already killed 100 men and injured another 250. Ukraine has yet to comment on the Russian allegations. You're watching Delta Television News. When we come back from the break, we'll bring you reports on the business world. Much for watching Delta Television News. Now the rest of the news. We now join our business desk for more happenings in the business sector.
The federal government has announced that the guidelines for the suspension of custom duty and taxes on imported food items are to commence next week. Last month, the federal government approved a 150-day duty-free window to allow the importation of maize, husk brown rice, and wheat as part of measures to combat rising food inflation across the country. The initiative was based on the implementation of the Presidential Accelerated and Stabilization Advancement Plan. Speaking at the meeting of Health of Security Agency in Abuja yesterday, the Comptroller General of Customs, Mr. Bashir Adeniyi, said the implementation of the policy would commence once the guidelines are ready. He explained that the delay experienced in implementation of the policy was to ensure that the interests of all the stakeholders, including farmers, were considered. The customs boss urged Nigerians to be patient, adding that some of the imported items already in the country will be cleared without duty and taxes. Meanwhile, in June, Nigeria's inflation reached a 28-year high of 34.19%, causing hardship for many Nigerians. The situation is worsened by a 40.87% increase in food inflation, which is attributed to insecurity in the country's agricultural regions. As a result, many people are struggling to afford essential food items. The State of Food Security and Nutrition in the World 2024 report by the United Nations indicated that about 172 million Nigerians.
And now sports news. World champion Tobi Amusan today qualified for the 100-meter hurdles semi-finals in the ongoing 2024 Olympics in Paris. Amusan led the pack of 8 athletes with 12.49 seconds, followed by America's Alicia Johnson with 12.61 and Jamaica's Janet Brown qualified with 12.84 seconds. Amusan is certainly among the favorites for the gold medal, but that won't come easy, contending with a strong field that includes the Bahamas' Devin Charlton, USA's Alicia Johnson, world champion Danielle Williams, and reigning Olympic champion Jasmine Camargo Queen of Puerto Rico. The semi-finals will hold on Friday, while the final is slated for the penultimate day of the athletic event, Saturday, August 10. The 27-year-old has been in great form in the run-up to the sports fiesta, running a season's best and the world lead of 12.40 seconds at the Jamaican Athletics Invitational in Kingston in May. Before then, she had set the indoor record for the African 16 meters hurdles twice in January and February. Still on sports, El Kanemi Warriors could host Beninois Club d'Agé Football Club in their CAF Confederation Cup clash at the Remo Stars Stadium in Ikenne, Ogun State. The first leg of the preliminary round encounter was initially scheduled to hold at the Moshood Abiola Stadium, Abuja. According to reports, CAF has, however, failed to approve the stadium. The encounter is slated for next weekend. The reverse fixture will hold in Cotonou on August 25. The winner will take on RS Bekani of Morocco in the second preliminary round. Away from sports, the Speaker of the State House of Assembly, the Right Honorable Imamotimi Guo, has expressed sadness over the death of a non-sitting member of the House, Honorable Talib Tebite. In a statement by his Chief Press Secretary, Mr. Nkem Mweke, Honorable Guo described the late Honorable Tebite as a jolly good fellow and a trusted ally who was friendly with close associates across nations. He described the passing as a tremendous loss to the state, adding that the deceased will be missed by many for his commitment to the welfare of the people. Honorable Guo said the late former lawmaker contributed immensely to the growth of the state legislature when he represented Ughelli South in the 4th and 5th Assembly. Highlighting late Tebite's passion for public service, the Speaker stated that his appointment as Executive Director of Projects, DESOPADEC, was as a result of hard work and dedication to duty, noting that the good deeds of the fallen former lawmaker would inspire others to work for the people's welfare. He prayed God to grant his soul rest. Our thoughts for the day. You might not enjoy discipline, but you will love the results. We'll take a look at our highlights before we go. Governor Sheriff Obrewori has attributed the peace and development in all parts of the state to prayers by Christians and his desire to fulfill his promise to the people. Governor Obrewori stated this when a delegation from the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, PFN, Delta State branch led by its chairman, Bishop Kingsley Nhagireri, visited him in Government House, Asaba. Youths in the state have been advised to shun anything that could promote crisis in order to attract development to their areas. A special advisor to the Governor on Peace Building and Conflict Resolution, Chief Edwin Uzo, gave the advice in Asaba during a peace meeting between the state government and some stakeholders of Ewulu Kingdom, Anyocha South local government area. The federal government has commenced moves to resuscitate the Nigerian cotton industry in collaboration with the International Cotton Advisory Committee, ICAC. A statement issued by the spokesman to the Vice President, Senator Shetima, Mr. Stanley Nkwocha, said this was the outcome of a meeting held on Tuesday between Vice President Kashim Shetima and a delegation from the ICAC led by its Executive Director, Mr. Eric Tachenberg, at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. And abroad, Nigeria has cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine. Niger has cut diplomatic ties with Ukraine, a move which signals a burgeoning rift between some West African states and Kyiv. Niger's military government said it made the move in solidarity with neighboring Mali, who severed their own relations with Ukraine 2 days ago. And that's our news on Delta Television. Thank you very much for watching us. My name is Pauline Okoli. Good night.
let's go, let's go. If we continue like this now, where we go end? Bros, calm down, calm down. I know say it be like see all of us the verse now, but more